very proud of that, and we're very, very proud of it, of course. I think that deserves a round of applause. All right. What in the world does a brain surgeon have to say of significance to a crowd of firefighters? You're probably asking the same question, although you've had some previous experience. I want to draw some similarities between my profession and your profession. Chief Sandy's already touched on some of those. And then give you some ideas from my standpoint as an outsider, although I think I got a pretty good idea of what you're going to do for a living. But I still am an outsider. I wanted to give you some ideas of what I think it means to be a firefighter. When we were making this movie, and we were out there, it was real cold, but we were out there with the trucks and the engines and the hoses and the generators and the lights and the sirens and the turnouts and the uniforms and all that. It really brought back a lot of memories for me. As the chief alluded to, I belong to a volunteer fire department here in Wake County a long time ago. Probably most of my fellow firefighters have passed on to the great beyond. I am well acquainted with a Scott pack. I've been in a burning building or two. I worked as an EMT in Raleigh before Wake EMS, so that really dates me, before Wake EMS even existed. And I was exposed to Raleigh Fire's excellence in that setting at a tender age. Even earlier than that, and I told this last year, and it didn't get me in trouble, so maybe one again. As a barefooted West Raleigh kid growing up, my brothers and I, well, actually it was my brothers, set the woods on fire. I'm sure it was them. One hot August afternoon, and Engine 8 rolled out there. I lived way out in West Raleigh, and Engine 8, I'm dating myself again, Station 8 was brand new at the time. Engine 8 rolled out there, and in about 10 minutes turned this absolutely raging, just terrible disaster into just a little brown spot in the woods that grew back in a few months. I was pretty awestruck by all that, but that didn't stop my mother from striking me awfully after they left with the bolo paddle. Some of you probably don't even know what a bolo paddle is. With all those experiences, I think I can draw some similarities for you. We both serve people in need, whether it's fire or disease, whether it's rescue or pain. The population we serve need us when we come. Sometimes very desperately they need us. Our services are both essential to the community. If you think about it, fire protection and a town doctor and a gathering of people, by the time you get that far, you really need to get yourself a name because you got yourself a town. That needfulness and that essentialness, however, requires several things of you and I as we deliver our services. That service delivery must be socio-economically neutral. It should be the same at a 1050 PI on Wake Forest Road as it is at a stabbing on Bloodworth Street. It should be the same at a house fire at a mansion inside the Beltline as it is at my house where I grew up out in West Raleigh, a modest 40-year-old 3-bedroom home. My care of an IBM executive with a brain tumor can be no different than my care of a homeless person with a blood clot on their brain. Your and my professions require training and expertise, unique to this community. Not everybody gets it. There are a limited number of individuals who receive our training, yours and mine, and that limitation requires of us that we use that expertise to its utmost. Now, right now, sitting here, all of you are chock full, absolutely full of that training and that expertise. But another thing our profession requires is a commitment to continuing education. I've learned new operative techniques in recent months, and your colleagues undergo, and you will too, further training and retraining to remain abreast of the latest techniques in rescue and firefighting. We are both the subject of public fascination and also public scrutiny. Whether it's rubbernecking in an accident or whether it's the kids that come by and are awed by your machinery in the fire station, which mine, Chief Sandy touched on this last year, mine are guilty on all counts. The general public is fascinated by what you do and by who you are. I've never seen a firefighting movie that flopped at the box office. Public scrutiny, however, challenges us to keep a clean house and to live daily the nobleness of our professions. The press likes nothing better than to get some dirt on a public servant or on a doctor. You and I have chosen professions which require odd hours, difficult circumstances, and significant stress. These take a toll on us physically, emotionally, and on our relationships with those that we hold most dear to us. It is, however, what we signed up for. It requires of us a particular attention to our own well-being and an active protection of those relationships that we hold most dear. There can be no rivalries that obstruct the delivery of your services or mine. Your chief has in the past and is actively pursuing mechanisms to prevent that here in Raleigh for you. My profession has ever-increasing rivalries that pull doctors in all directions. But patient care for physicians, like fire and rescue protection for you, must remain the #1 priority. It needs to be that priority for those of us, you and I, who wish to fulfill the oath that you will take today and that I took on a hot June day a long time ago myself. You and I must have convictions about what we do, that we are well trained, that we love what we do, and that the particular property or life that we have in our hands could not be in better hands. Lastly, you and I must be excellent all the time. We must get it right the first time. Many times there are no second chances in fire and rescue or in surgery. There are some differences between your profession and mine. Yours requires a personal courage that's not required of me. The willingness, it's really a zeal to go into a burning building, to risk the hazards and potential injuries. That's something that I don't have to face, obviously. You know, a lot of the public, including me, defines a firefighter as a guy that's running in a burning building when the rest of us are running out. Okay. I've asked some of the current Raleigh firefighters the difference between our professions. That was a big mistake. I suspect those are the same guys that have been talking to Chief Sandy. Some said they work harder, which I took real offense to. There's no question that more is required of you physically. My training involved stress and strain and sleep deprivation and 130-hour work weeks, but I never had the military requirements that you've suffered through, and I never got smoked. Well, figuratively, maybe a few times, but not literally like you have been. I asked this other guy, one guy said, well, you docs use book sense, whereas we use common sense, which I also took offense to. But you know, he's probably right. I told this story last year. I understand that we're televised today, so I really shouldn't tell this story, but to tell you a story to illustrate that, many years ago when I was working rescue in Raleigh, we were called to a 1050 PI down at the Neuse River on 64. Cold, rainy night in December, awful, just terrible, 2 o'clock in the morning. single vehicle accident. Somehow these folks had managed to miss the bridge and run down through the trees. And, the car was half in the water and half out. Both individuals pinned. One of them partially submerged. Both of them unconscious. Just a terrible mess. Heavy rescue, that's what we called it then. They don't call it that anymore, I don't believe. But heavy rescue was on the way at that time. And that was always the nicest sound to hear that loud siren coming with the Raleigh firemen coming to help us. But heavy rescue was on their way, and my partner and I were first arrived, and we got down to this thing and found this mess. And it soon became very clear that the only way to deal with this was for us to get up on the hood and then get over in the river and try to get control of things. And we're down there in the dark in the mud and breaststroking around in the Neuse River in December, and the river's up. And it's just a mess. And in the middle of all this, way up on the bridge, we hear this voice through the darkness, through the driving rain. Hey, I'm Dr. So-and-so from Wake Memorial. You know, we called it Wake Memorial back then. Now that's politically incorrect. But from Wake Memorial, you need any help down there? My partner was not real long on diplomacy, and he yells back, yeah, the water's pretty cold, but we can probably put you to work. Okay, and the next thing we hear is this door slamming and that car taking off at full acceleration, never to be heard from again. So, Doc, if you're watching, you now know that I know who you were that night. He's still around. I've never told him, but I may have now. Your profession at times really will require more of you than mine does of me. When I sat down to think about what I was going to say, the one thing that I couldn't get out of my mind was the entity of fire. At the risk of being kind of heavy and a little overly intellectual, of course you kind of expect that from a brain surgeon, right? You've dedicated yourselves to be around fire for the rest of your lives, and I'd like to just talk about that for a few minutes. Fire made the beginning of our civilization possible. The central campfire was a source for the comfort of warmth, but it was also the forum for the development of communication and subsequently of language and relationships. Fire, in its various forms, is still the basis for our civilization today. It's the platform that makes our civilization possible. Many believe that this civilization will end in a great holocaust of fire. Fire is destructive, but it's also creative. Look at Hawaii, probably the closest thing to paradise in the United States, made by the fire from volcanoes. Fire can destroy a forest if it's out of control, but fire, when well controlled, cleans out the underbrush. We do it all the time at hunt club that I belong to. It cleans out the underbrush and makes for betterment of wildlife. Fire can mold things, but it can also melt things. Fire can forge and strengthen, like it does a sword, but it can also twist and weaken. What's more beautiful than a crackling fire in the fireplace on a cold December night after a rescue call in the Neuse River? What's more ugly than a fire that's in a nursing home or in a high-rise apartment building? Controlled fire can be nurturing, life-giving, warming, and sustaining us. Fire out of control destroys property, inflicts horrendous injuries, and it takes lives in a most tragic way. Fortunately, for those of us who stand to benefit from your services, you have chosen to be around fire when fire is out of control. That sort of fire is a four-letter word. Learn it, hate it, squelch it, kill it. Those four letters, though, F-I-R-E, you've heard some of this already. They allow me a way to make some points that you might can remember. Things that I think, once again, as an outsider, are what it's all about to be a firefighter. I'd forgotten about the fellowship, the first F. I'd forgotten about the fellowship enjoyed by firefighters, the inside jokes, the war stories. I've already told one today. The practical jokes. Heck, last year I got back from the office after doing some surgery, had a note on my desk to speak at the commencement graduation. I thought one of the firefighters here in Raleigh was pulling a joke on me, just because I knew that's what sort of people they are. Turns out that it wasn't, and I'm glad of that. That fellowship requires a thick skin sometimes, but I think that's because the respect and caring that you folks have for each other, that you will develop for each other, is deeper than skin deep. Becoming a firefighter puts you in a particular fraternity, another F, a fraternity of like-minded, well-trained individuals, essentially wherever humans battle fire. I spoke a while ago about going to Minneapolis last year. There in the airport at Minneapolis, there's a bronze statue of a firefighter coming down a ladder. It's impressive. If you ever go to Minneapolis, you need to find it. Very impressive bronze statue of a firefighter with a child in his arms coming down a ladder. Full scale. That bronze sculpture really could be in any airport in the civilized world. You can speak a common language with any firefighter anywhere. A fraternity is a group that restricts membership to a certain type of individual. And today, you're being admitted to a great fraternity. The main F that comes to mind is family. Nowadays in our society, it seems to be more and more difficult to define family. For many of us, it remains and will remain the most important connection in our lives. Traditional families eat together, sleep under the same roof, recreate together, protect each other, take care of each other at all costs. Today, you join the family of firefighters, a group of individuals that you will spend a lot of your time with, eat with, play with, work with. You will depend on them and they will depend on you, not only for the seemingly mundane everyday work, but for situations where your lives are in each other's hands. Just like a traditional family, there will be some bickering, jealousies, competition, sibling rivalry. But when the alarm sounds, when the rubber hits the road, when the stuff hits the fan, that deep, abiding caring will starkly define the family to which you now belong. Invariable, invaluable, idealistic. The services you provide, as I've already said, must be invariable. They must show no variation because of geographic location, socioeconomic status or context, or just because you happen to be having a bad day. That doesn't count. There must be professionalism, compassion, competency at every encounter, with every patient, on every call. That's a tall order. Your services are invaluable. It's trite, but it's true. Fires destroy homes, not houses. Some material things in our lives are irreplaceable, and their protection is priceless. The most priceless things, of course, we have are our health and our lives, and you are charged with their protection as well. You can't put a value on health and on lives. It's invaluable. The main I word, I think, though, that comes to mind is idealistic. In a world that is never ideal, being idealistic is difficult, and it's often dangerous, too. It leaves you open to ridicule. It lowers your defenses against the cynical world. It can rob you of realism, sometimes when you need it the most. But ideals are the structural steel of the building called success. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you need to file back why you are here today. What motivated you to complete this training? Why you want to be a firefighter? You know, years ago when I was applying to medical school, I was sitting there, you sit around and you get real paranoid and you start playing question and answer and getting ready for the interviews. And the one that I dreaded the most was, why do you want to be a doctor? I want to help people. I want to help people. I want to help people. I mean, once again, trite, common, simple, sounds kind of shallow. But you know, nowadays with the turmoil in medicine, the interference in the doctor-patient relationship, the loss of respect for our profession, some of it deserved, the HMOs, the PPOs, the PHOs, the business of medicine, pulling at me more and more. That simple ideal is my life jacket. My comfort that everything will eventually be all right, that we'll get all this mess straightened out. There may come a day for you. Station assignment doesn't fit you. The crew you're with is intolerable. The pay's too low. Nobody knows how to cook. The calls are too few. The calls are too many. The calls are too dangerous. I'm bored, too busy, I'm out of sleep, politics are bad, whatever it is. There may come a day when you need to reach back and retrieve that file, pull it back out there and lay it on the table and review your ideals, re-examine the structural steel, remember why you were here that June day back in 1997. I believe that firmly set, frequently reviewed ideals define goals, provide motivation towards excellence, and give you a life jacket, like I said, when turmoil, difficulty, or chaos churn your professional seas. R, reputation. Never underestimate its power. I used to. You have a duty to enhance and build your own personal professional reputation with your peers. But more importantly, you must protect and enhance the reputation of the department in which you belong, which is an excellent reputation. Every interaction with the public must be professional and competent, reflecting well on you as a professional. In that interaction, you are the Raleigh Fire Department, and your behavior and preparation reflects on all your fellow firefighters. R, resources. The leaders of your department, it's already been touched on, together with the city council, with the city manager, and also the citizens of Raleigh, have provided you with the resources to perform your duties with confidence, with safety, and with competence. Whether it's a $750,000 platform truck, which we used to make our movie, by the way, or a set of good turnouts, a new station is well equipped, or opportunities for ongoing education, which you'll have, rest assured that there is a leadership commitment and a citizen commitment that you have all you need to protect yourselves while protecting those you serve. The main R word, though, is responsibility. You know, it's really getting overused in our society nowadays, but responsibility really applies to you and to me too. I guess that's why I'm talking about it. We said this last year in 1995, the U.S. Department of Labor ranked firefighting as the most dangerous job in the United States. You have a triple burden of responsibility: the safety of the public, your fellow firefighters, and of yourselves. To meet that responsibility, you must be well-trained, committed, hard-working. You must be cool-headed when things get hot, smart when things get done, and at your best when things seem the worst. Responsibility is a double-edged sword. Greater responsibility allows greater achievement, but greater responsibility also allows tremendous burden when failure occurs. Don't fear responsibility. Grab it, enjoy it, meet it with hard work, with commitment to ongoing excellence, and with professionalism. The citizens you serve and your fellow firefighters are depending on you to be responsible, and your own safety may depend on it as well. E, envy. envy comes to mind. You are in a very enviable position today. Only a select few get to sit in these chairs. When the going got tough in medical school, it always helped me to remember that some 7,000 people applied for the 108 spaces in my medical school class. You probably had to have some similar thoughts in the last few weeks. It doesn't hurt to hold on to those thoughts in the future, I don't think. Certainly I do. You're not only envied by those, however, who didn't get the opportunity to train, but you're also envy of the general public, because you have the opportunity to preserve property and save lives in a secure job that's stable, that has the possibility of advancement, and that is exciting and challenging. Another E word is education. I've already touched on that. We both have special educations, and both of us require continuing education. You've had top-notch training thus far, but you must continue to build on that education. Your education and training sets you apart. Building on that training offers advancement, assures competence, and instills confidence in your ability to protect yourselves and others. Most importantly, aggressively pursued continuing education leads to excellence, the most important E word. I noticed that sitting up here, it's a part of your class motto. I tell my children every day, be your best. I guess that sums it up. The pursuit of excellence is a difficult taskmaster. It requires of us daily attention to detail, daily affection for diligence, daily adherence to discipline. Excellence should be like the wind. We can see and hear and feel its effects without being able to specifically point it out. Excellence, when fully realized, is not a single characteristic of a particular task, but rather a full mindset, a framework for our entire lives, both at and away from work. Excellence is defined by Webster's as superior, first class, outstanding. That must be the essence of what you and I do. Who wants a brain surgeon who's not superior, first class, outstanding? Likewise, no one wants a firefighter protecting their property and their life who is not superior, first class, outstanding. Recognize excellence, refine it, respect it, require it. Family, ideals, responsibility, excellence. Four-letter word, fire. On this very important day for all of you, I offer my congratulations, and I'm sure I speak for my fellow citizens whom you will serve when I wish for you all long, successful, and safe careers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Gardner. It's always our pleasure. Next, I would have Captain Matthews to please come forward for the recognition of the valedictorian.
I see a couple of concerned faces. They're not aware who the class valedictorian is, so they all prepared a speech. A speech, right? Look, this morning I was going over them, and I happened to see them studying and looked down, and all of them, the sentences ended in the same spot. All the paragraphs ended in the same space. Something just doesn't seem right about this, but anyway. Class valedictorian. Webster defines it as the person with the highest academic average. We wanted something a little more. That didn't really mean a lot to us as the city and as the fire department. We wanted someone that sure had a lot of book knowledge, that was capable of learning. but we wanted someone who was a team leader. Our job requires that we all work together. I think we found that out at Wake County Fire Training Center last week. We had a little malfunction, a mechanical malfunction, and things got just a little bit warmer than we really wanted things to be. I think when we realized that my gloves were smoking, that things were a little bit hotter, but we stayed together as a team, and as in any one person had let us down, we would not have survived. But we stayed together as a team. So we allowed the students to vote who they thought a team leader was in the academy. The training staff voted. We looked at academic averages, class valedictorian, Ian Tops.
Thank you, Captain Matthews. I hope somebody bought the defib unit today, because we may need it. Gosh, let me take a breath here for a minute. I guess first and foremost, I'd like to thank on behalf of the Academy, we'd like to thank our family, our friends, God, just for the encouragement and support that we've had over the last 6 months. It's been a long haul for a lot of us, I know. A lot of pressing times, a lot of nights studying, a lot of weekends studying, and that took a lot of time away from our family and friends and those who made a great deal to us. So we thank all of you. In addition, we'd also like to thank the training staff, all of the line personnel who came out and spent days in the rain and days in the heat, and all the extra time that they have put in to help us through, because there are many, many things that, not just myself who had some experience, but some people who had never seen a lot of things that we were doing. This was very new to a lot of us, and there were some trying times. You know, we went up on the 5th floor of that training tower, and we did some rappelling, and some of us decided to go head first, which I know that wasn't the way it was supposed to be done, but they stuck with us and helped us out, and we got through it, and today they know how to do it right, and they'll come down feet first, I'm sure. So, let's see. It was an interesting 6 months. You know, I think back, we all think back to that first day, and I know for myself and a lot of us, we all sat in there, and I think there were probably about 10 words that came out. I was very, very quiet, I knew that, and you know, when we sat down, I sat next to John there, and I think we said, "Hey, how you doing?" and that was it. Things have changed a lot over the last 6 months. Everybody's got some lungs back, a little bit more courage, so we talk quite a bit now, but it took a while to come together, and the staff kept saying, "You'll come together as a class," and we kind of sat there and wondered, but we've really learned how to do that, and I think it's worked out real good for all of us. That first day was different. I know we did go home and thought, was this the right career move for all of us? And we're all here today. 18 started and 18 finished, and I think everybody's happy with the career move that they made. I know I am, and I'm pretty sure that everybody else is too. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here today. Look at my notes here. We just some things that happened. We met the best friend, or the only friend that we had in the fire department those first couple of days. Nobody else was our friend, we were told. We just had that one. And he told us how to stand at attention and left face, about face, and beat our face every once in a while. And, the left and the right became a little confusing for some. But I think most of us have got that sorted out, and he even taught us to march and sing at the same time, which is quite a feat for some of us. But and we practiced that. We went uptown, we went up Wilmington Street, and I think once we stopped at the top and we were ready to do some push-ups too, because we weren't quite loud enough. But we got it, and we came through, and I think everything worked out well for all of us. But we've gone through a lot of classes the last 6 months. Some, like I said, were very stressful for some. We became ditch doctors, or EMTDs. that was stressful. One guy had trouble at the hospital. He couldn't even stand up at one point. But we keep our lips closed. That's our secret, if there is such a thing in the fire department. So we learned how to be radiological monitors. I didn't say any names. We learned how to be radiological monitors, which means if Sharon Harris goes up, we're the first ones to know. We became state certified level 2 firefighters, which Dr. Gardner alluded to. When all of the same people are running out, it's our job to go back in, but I think that's why most of us took this career, because not just because we enjoy it, because if we're doing that, that means somebody's in trouble, and that's not good. But it's a job it's important that it get done, and we've taken that challenge on to do it, and we do enjoy it. But hopefully, one day we'll all be out of work, because that means nothing is going on. But until that day comes, it's not an idealistic world, so we need to do this job. And the last thing, we became hazmat technicians, which means we learned how to deal with anything that can melt concrete or shoot a rail car 400 feet down the road, and we'll go get it. Or it'll get us, one of the two. But we've gone through a lot of things, and we've learned a lot. And I think, but the most important thing that we learned, like was alluded to by Dr. Gardner, was that we came together as a group, a team, and also a family. I've met a lot of good people here, not just here, but with the staff and the other line members that we've met throughout this academy. That was real important. We've made some good friends, and I hope that we'll continue on. That we don't ever lose touch, and we meet more in our careers as we continue on with this. Let's see. I think everybody here is looking forward to moving on. I think some of us start tomorrow, going on shift, and then some start Sunday and some start Monday, and it's just we just close one chapter and we're just starting the next. And there's a lot of anxiety, I know, and a lot of anticipation, but I think everybody's been looking forward to this day. I know there were some long days, and I think this day's been long coming, but it's a good one. So not to drag this on, I'd just like to, once again, just on behalf of everybody, thank everybody that was involved, the staff, our friends, family, whomever we ever came in contact that helped us get through this. And I wish all of my friends good luck in the new careers. I hope to see all of you. I hope we all stay safe, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian, and congratulations. At this time, the class has a presentation they would like to make to the training staff, but before we do that, I would like to ask everyone that shared what these folks have been through for the last 25 weeks as far as assisting the training staff with the training they got. We heavily depend on the line company personnel to assist us in doing the many things it requires them to do, and then into testing also. So if everyone that is here today that assisted in the training of these individuals, would you please stand at this time? If we could, I'd like to give them a round of applause. At this time, Brian Perry, would you please come forward? Staff, would you please come up?
Just want to say on behalf of the 1997 Recruit Academy, we would like to present the training staff to show our thanks for all the hard work and dedication, especially all the patience they put in to put up with us. We just want to show our appreciation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, class, and we will display it proudly, and anytime you would like to come back and reminisce, please feel free to do so. All right, at this time, I would like to ask Lieutenant A.C. Rich to please come forward for the award of diplomas.
Lee C. Allred. Mark A. Armstrong. Robert C. Braxton. Johnny C. Bird. Douglas B. Campbell. Marcus W. Copeland. Angie L. Crockett. Nelson L. Massey. Edward D. Moxon, Jr. Stephen C. Nipper. William D. Parsons. Ryan J. Perry. William M. Stanfield. John D. Sturchio. Ian S. Toms. Jonathan P. Venori. Dwayne D. Whitaker. Antonio D. White.
As I announce the firefighters' names, at the same time, I will announce the person that's going to pin their badge. If you would join us down front. Lee C. Allred. Lee is assigned to Engine 9 A shift. His wife, Kim, will pin his badge. Mark A. Armstrong. Mark is assigned to Engine 9. His mother, Harriet Armstrong, will pin his badge. Robert C. Braxton. Robert is assigned to Engine 3. His wife, Renee, will pin his badge. Johnny C. Bird. Johnny is assigned to Engine 13. His wife, Tracy, will pin his badge. Douglas B. Campbell. Doug is assigned to Truck 11. His wife, Kim, will pin his badge. Marcus W. Copeland. Marcus is assigned to Engine Company 13. His friend Tara will pin his badge. Angie L. Crockett. Angie is assigned to Engine Company 7. Her father, Dennis Crockett, will pin her badge. Nelson L. Massey. Nelson is assigned to Engine Company 16. His friend Paula will pin his badge. Edward D. Moxon. Ed is assigned to Truck Company number 1. His mother, Mary, will pin his badge. Stephen C. Nipper. Stephen is assigned to Engine Company 5. His father, Curtis, will pin his badge. William D. Parsons. William is assigned to Engine Company 11. His mother, Eloise, will pin his badge. Brian J. Perry. Brian is assigned to Engine Company 13. His father, Ernie, will pin his badge. William M. Stanfield. William is assigned to Engine Company 3. His wife, Cheryl, will pin his badge. John D. Sturchio. John is assigned to Engine Company 5. His mother, Sybil, will pin his badge. Ian S. Toms. Ian is assigned to Engine 11. His wife, Mary, will pin his badge. Jonathan P. Vanori. Jonathan is assigned to Engine Company number 1. His friend Angela will pin his badge. Dwayne D. Whitaker. Dwayne is assigned to Engine Company 11. His mother, Becky, will pin his badge. Antonio D. White. Antonio is assigned to Engine Company number 1. His mother, Audrey, will pin his badge. anyone is welcome to come down front to take pictures. Okay, please get back.
Persons getting the badge, please take your seat. Chief Sandy, would you please come forward to administer the oath?
You raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I. Me. I. Do solemnly swear and affirm. Do solemnly swear and affirm. That I will uphold the charter. I will uphold the charter. And the ordinances of the city of Raleigh. And the ordinances of the city of Raleigh. Mission and goals. Mission and goals. Of the Raleigh Fire Department. Of the Raleigh Fire Department. And faithfully perform. Faithfully perform. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. The duties of the position. The duties of the position. Which I am about to enter. Which I am about to enter.
Father Sherwood, would you please come forward for the dedicatory?
Let us pray. May the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord let his face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May the Lord look upon us all kindly, especially the 1997 firefighters of the city of Raleigh, and give us all his peace. Amen.
We would like to extend to everyone an invitation immediately following the ceremony to please come and fellowship with us at the Keeler Training Center, and that will follow immediately after the ceremony. I'd ask Captain Wilbur Dunn to please come forward for the class dismissal.
Thank Thank you, Commander. Just before we do get ready to dismiss, I've recognized a few people in the House that I feel compelled to say something about. The Chapel Hill Fire Department has been so gracious to come over and look at us. If you would just stand up. I'm not going to call your name, but just be recognized if you would. Chapel Hill, thank you for coming out. Also in the audience, the recruits had a couple of other people to come and take classes with us, and they joined and bonded together too, and we have 2 of those in the house. One of Cary Rescue's people and one of Fairgrounds people, if you would. We like to know them as our brothers also. I think we got the Explorers in the house, 2 Explorers, if you would. I don't know where all you're sitting at, but if you would just stand up. Is there anybody else that I can't remember? I don't see them. If we do, we wish you well too. We have one of our battalion chiefs and one of our district chiefs, Chief Woodliff and Chief Lynn, if you would, just to see who you are. Don't want to stand up. Okay. Well, that's okay. Okay. Where's he at? Where's Chief Brinson? Chief Brinson, I'm sorry, that's Chief Brinson right there. The Swift Creek Fire Department Chief, thank you so much for coming out. We got one of them. We got him up here. Thank you all so much for coming out to be with us. The school has been rigorous, and we have really put them through the test. The very first day that they came to class, they didn't know each other, like Tom said. They wouldn't even speak to each other, and one of the first tasks that we had to teach them was first how to shut up. And some of them said, the training staff, what have we done? We have made the biggest mistake we ever made in our lives coming to get this job. And they really, some of them didn't want to come back the next day, but we're 18 strong here today. And I think they feel real good about it. Everybody feel good? Yes, sir! Okay, all right. We trained them quite well. These men and women are going to stare death right straight in the face with their careers, and they're not going to back up. We may have to give our lives at some time. That's the price we have to pay to do this. We may have to pump up a bicycle tire, put a license on a little bicycle, or we may have to rip somebody out of a car or bring somebody out of a burning building. We don't know. We don't know what's in store for us, but we're ready. Doesn't make any difference. Parents, wives, girlfriends, fathers, you sent them to us. Sometimes the hours got very late. The staff was tired, just like anybody else were, but we hung in there and we got through with this thing. You guys have done a real good job just getting them here. We taught them how to brush their teeth and polish their shoes. You look at them shoes there, man. Them shoes are right. We got them all straightened out. We got them all straightened out for that. And because of you've done such a wonderful job, you need to be saluted also. Okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? We couldn't have done it without Mr. Benton and Chief Sandy, Chief Woodall, the whole staff and administration of the fire department, Commander Guest, everybody has done. This is some hard work. I'm getting too old for this, I'm gonna tell you that. But this is some hard work, and everybody has chipped in and done something real great with this, and this is the product that we've got. So for that, if you would, Chief Sandy and staff, would you please post? We're going to do it, man. We're going to do it. Just a minute. Just a minute. Thank everybody for coming out. Again, the reception is going to be down at the training center. Dr. Gardner, where'd you go to? He slipped out? Dr. Gardner, we love you, man. We love you. That guy has been the same tracks that we've been. He's one of the family. And we've got some other firefighters in here. I missed you. I missed you. We've got some other firefighters in here, too. thank everybody so much for finally bringing this thing together. Bringing it together. Thank you.
Punch, off, hit, pull, pass, dismiss.
If you would, please remain seated until the recruits leave the building. Thank you. Somebody said a while ago, why didn't they smile? We don't want them to smile. Let them smile on their time.